Okay, so imagine this. You stumble upon a forgotten fairy tale castle somewhere in the French countryside, and you decide, you know what? We're going to bring it back to life. Well, today, that's exactly what we're diving into, the incredible story of Château Poseidon and the couple who took on this absolutely monumental dream.
And this quote right here from one of the new owners, it really just says it all, doesn't it? This isn't just about fixing up an old building. Nope, this is the end of a deeply personal journey, a dream that literally traveled all the way across the Atlantic. So what was the vision? Well, they weren't just looking for any old house. They wanted the whole shebang, what they called the full fairy tale princess vibe. We're talking turrets, towers, the works, all set on a big piece of land where they could have gardens and animals. But the chateau they found was, well, it was a sleeping beauty. It had been completely forgotten, sitting there empty for 4 whole decades. On one hand, it was a tragedy that such a stunning place had no life in it. But on the other hand, that total abandonment was actually what made their dream affordable. And this was the exact moment they knew. As they were driving down the lane, the chateau just started appearing through the trees. They said they looked at each other and immediately had that feeling of good trouble. You know, the kind you get when you realize you've just found something truly, truly special. So, here's where the story gets really interesting. The name, Château Poseidon, it's not actually the building's original name. It has this very modern and honestly pretty unusual origin story. Let's break down how that happened. Get this, the way they found the property is just fascinating. It wasn't through some fancy real estate agent. After looking at hundreds of listings and getting nowhere, they just typed 3 simple words into Pinterest: abandoned chateau, France. And boom, up popped these incredible photos taken by urban explorers who had already given the forgotten chateau its nickname. And, in what I think is a really thoughtful move, they decided to keep the name Poseidon. Why? Well, it was a signal to that very same community of urban explorers. It was their way of saying, hey, thank you for documenting its history while it was sleeping. It's in safe hands now. All right, so with the chateau officially theirs, it was time to really see what lay inside. And despite those 40 years of neglect, the building was holding on to some absolutely incredible secrets and stunning original features. You see, the chateau had what restorers call good bones. We're talking a grand entrance with that immediate wow factor, an amazing carving of Poseidon on the main staircase, which is where the name came from, and almost unbelievably priceless stained glass windows from 1862 that were somehow still intact. And then they found this, the ultimate fairy tale feature. I mean, can you even imagine the excitement of tapping on a random wall panel and discovering a genuine, honest-to-goodness hidden staircase? That is something straight out of a movie. Okay, so discovering the past is one thing, but building its future, that's a whole other ballgame. So let's take a look at their really ambitious plan for the chateau's next chapter. The property actually has 2 main buildings. First, there's the main 19th century chateau. That's going to be their home, and it'll feature a beautiful honeymoon suite. But then there's an even older 17th century tower, which is a remnant of an old fortified farm. The plan for that? Turn it into a charming little bed and breakfast. And all of this hard work is driving towards one very clear goal. They want the grounds and that honeymoon suite to be fully ready to host weddings by 2027. That deadline is basically the engine pushing forward this first most crucial phase of the entire renovation. But a project this huge, you just can't do it alone. The owner said the welcome they've gotten from the local community has been so positive, it feels like they're living in the TV show Ted Lasso. And it's that support, from neighbors helping them recreate stolen fixtures to the local banker just offering his printer. That's what makes this whole daunting task feel possible. Okay, so we've seen the dream, we've seen the vision. But what about the reality? Every fairy tale castle comes with a price tag, right? So let's ground this amazing story in the numbers. So here's the big question. What do you think it costs to buy a piece of forgotten French history like this? Seriously, take a moment. Think of a number in your head. 500,000 euros, that was the all-in price, including all the taxes and fees. Now, for a lot of people, that's a surprisingly accessible number, especially when you compare it to property prices in major cities around the world. But of course, the purchase price is just the beginning. On top of that initial $500,000, they have to plan for around 5,000 euros every year in taxes and another 5,000 for insurance. And that's all before they've even hammered a single nail for the renovation itself. So what's the big takeaway from all of this?
Well, according to the owners, you need to be a little bit delulu, which means delusional. And this quote just beautifully captures the whole spirit of their adventure. It's a powerful reminder to act on your dreams, because even the craziest ones might just be the ones most worth chasing. So it makes you wonder, what dream would you chase?